right. What's happening? What's happening, y'all? It's your boy Brian Forbes, and this, ladies and gentlemen, once again, is the Black Factor. Uh, I'm starting trouble tonight. I'm just gonna give y'all a heads up. I'm I'm going to let you know right now. Tonight's show is gonna ruffle some feathers, even some in my own household. But y'all know it is what it is. You know, we gotta cover this stuff. We gotta talk about it. We gotta chop it up. And I'm hoping that on tonight's show that we have an all-inclusive audience. I want you all to chime in. I want y'all to tell me what you think about what we're talking about tonight, because it's going to get real interesting. So we're going to get this thing cracking. Tonight's show, y'all, polygamy. We're going to talk about what that looks like in 2022. We're going to talk about the possibilities of polygamy and the arguments against it. Of course, I knew it's going to always be a lot of arguments against something like that because that's not normal in our society, which that's fine, but it is what it is. Now, before we get too started, real good, y'all, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the like. Don't forget to share the live. And to my Also Smooth Radio family, welcome. I'm glad you all are in hanging out with us tonight. But now, here's the deal. Polygamy, y'all. Now, let's keep in mind, something like this, it's not for everybody. But, I've had some thoughts lately about the way things are in our society. And I have a really interesting position on this thing. At least I think it's interesting. And I'm saying it only because when I look at what we're dealing with in our social circles, and I look at the things that, I know and the stuff I see with other people around, and what got me to thinking about it was we're coming up on Single People's Awareness Day. Valentine's Day. Y'all. Sorry, single people. Anyway, Valentine's Day is coming up, and this thing got me to thinking, right? Because I know that there are a lot of people, people want to be in relationships. Everybody wants to be with somebody. Nobody wants to be alone. Human beings are intended to be social. We're intended to, cohabitate and be a part of other people's lives. But tonight we're going to talk about what that looks like in a multiple or plural situation. Now, polygamy. Polygamy by definition is the practice or custom of having more than one wife or husband. See, I don't want the ladies to get sideways because I know how they act. Oh, what about us? Okay, it's either or at the same time. Now, even the zoological definition, and I know that sounds odd, but the zoological definition, because they do call like when they mate animals and that kind of thing, they call it husbandry. But in this polygamy thing in zoology, it's a pattern of mating in which an animal has more than one mate, which most animals in the animal kingdom do. There are only a few that are monogamous. I think penguins are one of them. Now, polygamy is illegal and criminalized in every country in North and South America. So nowhere on this continent can you practice plural marriage legally. However, now in 2020, the Utah House and Senate reduced the punishment for consensual polygamy, which had previously been classified as a felony, to roughly equivalent of a traffic ticket. Now, I remember there was some people out that way who got caught up, one of those churches, because I think they were off into some, they was basically like with children and that kind of thing, which I do not condone, nor do I support, nor do I think is a good idea, and they should be where they are, which is incarcerated. Now, even though polygamy is illegal in the U.S., most mosques, when we're talking about the Muslims, try to discourage plural marriage. Some Muslim men in America have quietly married multiple wives. No one knows how many Muslims in the U.S. live in polygamous families, because this thing has basically gone sort of underground, if you will. Now, and I'm going to get to that in a minute too. Now, there's generally three forms of polygamy. You have polygyny, polyandry, and group marriage. Now, polygyny is a specific form of polygamy where a man marries multiple wives. Polyandry or group marriage, polyamory. Some believe that polygamy violates women's rights. Some believe that polygamy benefits children. I'm one of those. I lean toward the benefit of children. Hey, Vanita, thank you for checking in. Now, for this conversation, I specifically I'm gonna deal with us. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what this is. This is the black factor. We deal with black folks. We deal with our stuff, and we don't need. When you start talking about this type of thing on a global scale, yeah, you start getting into some other nuances that don't have nothing to do with us. So I want to keep this real neat for the black community. Well, I'm not just gonna say for the black community, but the community at large in America, because we all live here. We're all here together, and we all deal with these things. Even though we know in black society there are other caveats and things that we deal with, little subtleties that others don't. So, polygamy is defined as a marriage in which one spouse, man or woman, has several other spouses. The most common form of polygamy is when a man has more than one wife. Now, that hey Regina Freeman, thank you for checking in. That part of it, of course, because it's funny, whenever this topic comes up, you always hear women say, when men are discussing it, and you hear about multiple wives, you always hear women say, well, can I have more than one husband? Of course you can. Why not? Now, that gets into some other, in my opinion, and I'm not a misogynist. I'm not a one of them guys that's man this, man that. But it does raise other questions in terms of the way we operate socially, in the way some men operate, and I, without getting into a big old thing about how men act, because that can get weird too. Okay, now keep in mind though, and Regina said polygamy is not for me. Of course it's not, Regina, but I'm going to show you in just a few minutes. Just hold on, I got something for you. Anyway, a lot of people don't see this as an option. Regina's one of them. But let's be for real. Some of y'all are already in shared relationships, and you refuse to acknowledge it. Some of y'all got multiple baby daddies. I said daddies, plural. And most of them have, and a lot of times they've been nothing more than, sperm donors. Tyrone Bentley, what's going on, boss man? It's good to see you keeping up with us. Thank you for checking in. Now, I brought that up because here's the thing. We know that in our society and in our communities, Align Jones says, what about polyamory? Men are not down with that. Okay, we gonna talk about all of that. Align, hang tight. Latika, hey baby, how you doing? Miss Billups is in the building. The tea lady. See, look, listen, y'all. We gonna get into this thing, and I want your comments. I want you to speak your piece on it. But as you do, just know I got something for you. I'm gonna show you some stuff. I just want to let me put it like this. I'm gonna give you some food for thought. Now, there are gonna be people who are gonna refuse, and they're going to be completely against something like this, because of course this is the way we've been taught. This is what we've been raised. This is the way we've been brought. When we are brought into the world, in our society, we're taught one standard. And do you realize how many miserable people there are in the world because they've lived by these singular standards that have been given to them by parents and society, and which is the reason why we have like the high rate of suicide and all the other stuff that goes on in the world, because people are unhappy and they can't live in a society where nobody would accept them. That's the same reason why the LGBTQ community has moved in the directions that they have, and have the support that they do amongst themselves and others in society, because they don't want to see something, these people have to live their life underground. Okay. This, in a lot of ways, is no different. Now, I said that when I said just a minute ago, and I brought up the fact that a whole bunch of folks have had multiple children by multiple men and so many other things. Let's be real with this now. I'm going to keep it 100. Y'all know me. And I'm going to just give you an example. Now, let's talk about absentee fathers, just for starters. There were a few times while in my younger years, where there were some young men who had been around me and some friends of ours, sons who did not have that male hand, that male influence in their life, and I stood in that gap when I could. But I noticed that some of these mothers were very complacent and very lackadaisical about the way they were allowing their sons to be raised, or the way they were raising their sons. And they were very, kind of carefree, and they didn't think too much about certain things, and they didn't give these boys the information that they needed a lot of times. Well, mainly because sometimes they couldn't. And I had one who actually was very, very not. She just never made her son available for the things that he wanted to do when I would say, because like I would be at my shop working, and I say, hey, bring the boys by, let them hang out with me over here while we're in the shop working, so they can get their hands dirty and oh, I don't know if I got time, I gotta go get my hair done, all that kind of stuff, right? Well, that particular young man right now is doing life in prison. The other one is still struggling in his life to find a way. There are others like that have been around me, and it pains me very greatly to know or to feel like I could have at least done something had I been a part of their life to some degree. Lever Herbert says everyone has a choice, and I agree with that 100%. Now, I'm saying that, and I remember there was another, and it also made me think, that was this one time, right? My son had he was in Cub Scouts, and I participated in as much of that stuff, as whatever was going on, I was there. And I remember we were at this one Cub Scout camp way out in the woods some damn where, we was out there for the weekend. It was a bunch of little boys and the den mothers and that kind of thing. Very few men, which disturbed me just a little bit. And they were doing this skit. Every troop had to do a skit. And so these kids were out there, and all the other little kids had put together little stories and little skits, and I dare say the black troop. My son wasn't a part of that particular troop. We were from another area, but there was this one troop, all young black children, and these little boys literally enacted a robbery. They pretended like they were robbing a store, and one of them got shot and that kind of thing. I literally sat there with my mouth open. I couldn't believe what I was watching, and the other people couldn't either. And I think their den mother or whoever was with them kind of put the brakes on that, and I'm glad they did. However, I'm saying this to say, and I'm going to get further into why I brought that particular part of this story up. Okay, now, when it comes to polyamory, a lot of people, unfortunately, the way our social structure is set up, a lot of people believe that it is specifically a sexual thing, when it is not. And look, there's my co-host.
I can slide the chair on in here if you want.
Yes, you can. You can. I'd love for you to join this conversation.
I'll be right back.
Okay. My co-host is going to join me. Goody, 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 goody. I love it when she's here. So anyway, a lot of people believe that a lot of this has to do with sex, and it's not. That in fact is usually further down the totem pole on priorities than anything in these situations. Now, Lion Jones mentioned earlier on the feed that she hears that the majority of it is economic, and yes, it is. Fact of the matter is, a lot of people don't realize this or want to acknowledge the fact that most marriage in general, was actually put into place socially for the purpose of economics. It is meant to pass on property. Marriage was never meant to be about love. That's why prior to the 19th, 18th century, nobody married for love. That's a misconception that was born in the 1900s. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, and they think, oh, I got to be in love. That ain't what it was about. And this scenario in polyamory is also very much included in that economic situation. Marriage, period, is a business deal. It really has nothing to do with me, because two people can cohabitate and be in love with each other and live their life just as happily as anybody else that goes down there and signs a piece of paper and stands in front of a judge. Let's keep that 100. Okay, so y'all can believe it, disbelieve it, but this had everything to do with money. And in case y'all want to get into the Bible part of it, the Catholic Church is the one that set this up, and the Catholic Church most definitely had their hands in the economics of society during the time when this all became a thing. Okay. Now, the thing is this: if we have come to a place now where we allow or are accepting, have become more accepting of same-sex marriage, why won't we allow, or why shouldn't we legally allow polyamory? I don't have a heaven or hell to put no gay person in, or none of the other alphabet folks. I don't have no heaven or hell to put people who decide that they're happiest with more than one mate to put them in. I just don't. And I don't think any of us should judge people who can do this. The fact is, what's the difference? What would be the difference? And I'm gonna tell you, I got a really interesting argument that I'm gonna show y'all in a minute for this situation that I think will make you think about the possibility of something like this. And here's the thing. You know, a lot of people might say, "Oh, they will abuse this type of thing." How can this be? How can you abuse this anymore? Especially with the fact that we're talking about a commitment. How can this be abused any worse than the way we are in society right now? People are laying up here, making kids with random people left and right, chasing them down for child support and every damn thing else. If you ask me, that's the abuse. A person who's willing to commit themselves or marry another person, albeit 2 or 3 of them, I think that's more structurally sound than just having kids all over the place. That's just me. Here, I'm in trouble now. Look, here come trouble. Come, you got to come around here, baby, because I don't have other cameras set. Okay. I got another co-host, my other co-host. Come on, co-host, pull up right here. Pull your chair up. Y'all welcome Poppy Forbes to the building. Hey. So the thing is this. People are already basically abusing our social situations as it stands right now, because they're running around here making kids with just whoever the hell. And I mean, what's the difference, right? Okay, now, because my daughter, who was supposed to be my third co-host tonight, I don't know if she's gonna make it. Regina said, "Welcome, Madam Producer." Like my daughter says,
my whole list. I'm waiting.
She ready, boy. She fired up. She ready to fight. She ready to get at. She ready to throw down. Look, but as my other producer, my co-host over there says, even animals often take more time and more care about who they select to procreate with, to have children with. Now, I want y'all to think about that. Animals do not make babies with weak animals, with animals who cannot protect, provide, and do all the things that a male animal should be doing in this situation. Am I right? Yeah. You got to roll with that, you know.
Hey, Nicola. Hey, Regina. Hey, Sheila. Cracking up. She said she got to pull over to hear this.
Yeah.
I know, right. I want to go back to the very beginning where you said you named a couple animals that were in.
Oh yeah, that we were talking about the idea that most animals are, well, you could say polyamorous, but because they don't commit. I think penguins are committal, and I'm sure there are a few others.
Well, it's probably over 70 animals that stay with one mate.
Do you know how many animals there are in the world?
I know.
And only 70?
I know.
Okay.
No, it's way over 70, but I picked the top 70. But the number one was, which was really odd, it was a wolf. A wolf every year goes back to the same mate. Oh, that's cool. Okay. All right. And they breed by the age of 2. But I'm gonna tell you another one that was really interesting. A bald eagle. Goes back every year for mating season to the same woman, and
To the same woman.
I mean, to the same eagle.
To the same bird.
Same bird. And has the nerve to even sit on the eggs.
Baby, I come back for the same bird.
And it sits on the eggs. So I'm like, is it kind of like changing diapers?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Thought
but see,
that was
but
good.
now hold on. I'm gonna show you something. I'm glad you said that because that actually is very good for what I'm saying, for what I'm talking about.
Let me go back. Another cute little furry one I just had to
ahead.
throw out there. A beaver. Because everybody says penguin. We know about
Ain't
penguins.
nothing like a good beaver.
But the beaver sticks with the same woman. Hey, Brunella.
Okay, anyway. Now,
Hey, Phil.
here's
I'm sorry, I threw them all off.
yeah, no, not really. Okay, anyway, so I was talking about people abusing this practice, but you can't really abuse it any worse than the situation that we're dealing with right now in society because there's plenty of people out here just making kids, chasing people down for child support and every damn thing else going on. So
Okay.
there's no difference. Okay, so anyway, this is where I really want to get into. Now listen, y'all. Would legalized polyamory make it more appealing for men to be married and in solid relationships if now don't get it twisted because there are plenty of men who can't even deal with one woman. There are plenty of women who can't deal with one man. There are plenty of people who are not capable of even maintaining a monogamous relationship. So to speak about polyandry is a whole nother issue. Polyamory is another issue altogether, but you have to be a mature individual, first of all. But here's my question.
People not even mature in just a single relationship.
No,
so
that-
this is even,
right.
even be crazy.
So, well, I disagree, though.
Polygamy
Here's why I disagree. I think that because we have men who are responsible, who are fathers, who are breadwinners, or should I say productive individuals with good knowledge, would it not benefit women who would otherwise be by themselves, raising children alone, having to deal with daycare and all the other things that come with being a single parent, just to, well, not just to be, but to be in a relationship, a loving relationship, a relationship that is good for them, rather than having somebody that ain't worth a damn all the time. Because you know how many times, think about it.
Wait a minute. You saying it kind of lopsided.
Not
because-
really.
Yes, you are. 'Cause
Okay,
you're saying,
explain.
You using it as an example. If it's first of all, you using a man and having all the different women.
I
So-
said from the very beginning this could go
okay,
either
well,
way.
I wasn't here for the very beginning. I
Okay.
was at work, but I know we've had this conversation before.
Right, let's go.
And the way the way you were discussing it is like strictly a man and the women not having
See,
the man around.
you're a prime example
Mhm.
of exactly what I'm talking about. Then see, you can sit here and say this because here's the thing. In your life and in your world, you got a husband that you've had for 30 years.
And if I didn't have a husband
Mhm.
and I had another husband, I'm gonna still just be with that one person. He's just gonna have, it's gonna be him and I. I can't do the polygamy thing. Now I'm sure some people
That's
can,
fine.
and I don't need.
It's
the
not
other
for
person to
everybody.
watch- no, and I wouldn't need the person to watch my kids because I probably wouldn't even agree with how they watch kids. That's just my opinion.
But think about how you saying that. You making a blanket statement to a situation that is you're not even, it's hypothetical.
Okay,
You don't know
now-
what the
now
circumstances
I got
would
my-
be.
I pulled my receipts up.
Oh
for,
boy, here we go.
The relationships. A lot of them, yes, and
A lot
they
of
do
who?
have them over in Africa. A couple of the polygamy relationships, because Houston, I just looked that up. Huge community.
Yeah.
And they still have divorces.
Yes.
And they
Absolutely.
there's a couple stories in Houston where the ladies. Got
Nobody
into straight
said
up
they was
fights.
gonna live happily ever
The
after.
way you kind of made it like it was
I
gonna be
did
all
not.
roses
No,
and
I did not.
red carpet
I
and
haven't even gotten
gold
into the meat
dripping.
of meat of the story yet.
All right,
You
come
just
on.
gone. See, this is what happens. This
story always gets
I'm
my-
glad.
gets my,
Yes, it does, and I'm glad she's here to express exactly the way she is because this is a prime example of the reason why the benefits of polygamy will never be realized in our community because people put themselves, they just drive that wedge straight in. No, this will never work.
Okay.
Why? Because in our society, and I'm gonna just show you something, and especially in the black community, one of the things that we always do, our kids get a certain age, we think they supposed to be out on their own. We kick them out. Not kick them out, but I ain't kick mine out. But people put you
kids
certain
grow
age,
and
you supposed
go.
to be go. Okay? We think that we don't want to cohabitate with nobody. We want our own. We want to be living. We want
You say
to.
that's
We
just
want
blacks.
black
That's
folks
just
want to separate themselves from everything and everybody so they can say me, I, Boom. Other cultures, and then we always talk about how other cultures get ahead and we don't.
I can go on that one too. Come on.
Look at you. You see, you just ready for a fight. She don't care anything. No.
And we both have
My point
thoughts and
is,
opinions.
no, but you want to find every reason in the world for something that somebody else could potentially be doing that would benefit them not to work.
Okay, so like Alan Jones just said on there, if you know, who?
Align.
Okay, sorry.
They have to prove their wealth.
Yeah.
But she said on the continent of Africa.
Okay, so in Africa,
if they can afford
a couple people that we know that was from Africa. The one lady we knew, Dad had 9 wives. They all lived in the same subdivision, and they didn't even get along. And then what I did like about what the wives did, which I thought was funny, and I know I'm being petty because this is petty, but when the women would get
petty
mad,
queen.
when the woman would get mad, the main wife would get mad. All the other 8,
Poppy petty.
He couldn't go to nobody's house and get none. Now this was a personal friend of mine. I thought that was hilarious.
Okay,
he had to be punished
now.
for all.
But my point is, see, you like that she's sadistic, y'all. You see what I gotta go with. You see what I gotta deal with, right? My point is this: regardless, because see now you trying to derail me over here. You're trying to sidetrack me.
Hey, Bernard.
Regardless of all of the so-called drawbacks of these people, listen. Polygamy or monogamy never guarantees people's sanity or happiness. Yes. That's just not a thing. So that is never what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is people being able to cohabitate in a situation that is financially beneficial and otherwise. There's a lot more to it. And I think that a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that it's a lot of times it's about sex, and it's just not. That's just not the whole ball of wax, or even part of it, really. The bottom line is people have issues in committed relationships. I don't care if it's monogamy or polygamy. It doesn't matter. People are going to have issues. And then, as a man, in my opinion, you foolish to bring a woman into your house that the rest of the women that you married to don't like. That's just stupid.
Well,
you asking for trouble.
I think with the guy who's in, where is he, Oregon or Utah, whatever, that has that TV show, the main wife used to...
You want me to turn your mic on, Tatum?
That would select, she would have to be in agreement. If she didn't agree, nobody could come. But now, interesting, she was the main wife, been married for over 25 years, and she's divorcing her husband. Right.
And then there's that part. The fact that you have a main wife, a number one wife, and then you have,
Guess what? Now, since that's the man with that TV show, TLC, now he's divorced and he don't want to pay. She's been with him from the beginning. She's the main wife. She's divorcing him, and now he doesn't want to give her alimony and child support.
Well, he don't want a divorce.
And have the TV show if it wasn't for them.
He don't want a divorce, though.
No.
So, I mean, she wants a divorce. He doesn't want a divorce. So, I mean, I wouldn't give a damn if it was a polygamy or monogamy. If I didn't want a divorce, I'm not trying to pay you nothing. You better stay here. It's cheaper to keep him. You heard that, right? Okay, all right. Just so you know. Yeah. All right. So now they say a lot of the women who practice polygamy say that the number one most common question they receive from people is that who don't really know what's happening with their lifestyle. They want to know, do the women participate in sexual intercourse with each other? And in most cases, from what I know, they do not. They usually have.
When I looked it up, no.
They usually have separate intimate relationships with the husband. And to cover, since you got ahead of me on my show here, yes, it can be very toxic. I got my other my co-host is in here. She on the mic as well. So yeah, we got the young crowd in the building. So don't feel free to chime in, Tater Tot.
All right. Oh, my mic is on.
Yes, your mic is
on.
All
right. Come on, we got a guest.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
We had a guest that came in and
y'all out here.
Before
I
think what Regina said.
Okay, everything is still on though. Everything is.
Yeah, Regina. Now you know what? I wasn't gonna get into that part of this, but I am now since I have my wife over here who thinks like you do. Here's the thing. I saw what she said.
What happened?
She said
three men who don't get jealous. Yeah. But you know what? But here's the thing. Men and women are built differently. Men and women are built so differently that 3 men, a woman who has 3 men is gonna struggle.
3 alpha
Here's
men
why.
is not gonna
Exactly.
work.
But why do
And
they
most
have to be
women-
alpha?
Right. I was
Well,
okay.
there
Now,
could be 3 beta men. I don't think 3 beta men gonna work.
but most women,
I disagree.
most women don't like beta men.
I
Not
disagree.
really.
Well,
Depends.
maybe
Okay,
she
then
getting
speak
3
up.
men in the house. She might like a beta man.
Well, first of all, I do believe men. And no one take this the wrong way. I do believe they fulfill their best purpose when they are serving a higher cause. So I feel that to have a good woman is them serving their higher purpose. So I do believe that a man that is in his bag, I believe they can get along. They can,
Tatum,
they
slide
can,
your chair over just-
they can be teammates. They can.
Yeah,
They
okay,
can make
yeah.
it work.
I think. Well, now it would take the right type of men
3
for that
alphas
to.
ain't gonna
And
serve
women,
me.
you know.
Okay, let me put it like this.
But
could you
but
imagine?
how many men are
could you
alphas
imagine,
anyway?
Could you imagine 2 other men like me in a marriage with 1 woman?
But first of all, let us
Answer the question.
No, let us
Answer the
rewind.
question.
How many men are truly alphas?
I'm
I
gonna
can
ask
count
you-
on like.
Ice them out? I mean,
I disagree. I think you have a lot of men posturing as alpha. I don't think there are a lot of
I
true
agree with that.
alphas.
I agree with
I
that.
don't
A
know.
lot of
Some
posturing.
Of the ones we know personally.
I'm gonna ask you again.
I still
Could
say
you
they're in the
imagine
minority, aren't
me
they?
with 2 other men in a marriage to 1 woman?
I mean, I guess you could do like the what you folks do. They just put them in separate houses.
That ain't what I asked you.
Yeah, separate houses.
You put them in
That ain't
separate
what-
houses.
That ain't what I asked
Then
you.
she can go
I mean,
on and be
Could
bothered
you
if she wanna be
see
bothered.
me, the person that you know?
I don't. But this isn't about
With
you.
2
We're not
other men.
talking about
It's
you.
not about you.
We're not-
See
It's not
how,
about
see
you.
how
Thank
y'all.
you, Tatum. It's not about you.
I thought we was talking about. Okay, all right.
We
we are, but we weren't talking about.
Y'all see how this wouldn't work? You see my point? My point is they can't even answer that question because they already
Yeah,
know
we're gonna avoid the
that
question.
me
You see how we did
and-
that?
Right, dodge
Very
the
good.
question because they already know a man that is, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, a man that is desirable to a woman on that kind of level, the way some women want to be kept.
I also disagree with that, but that's just me.
Okay.
Dude, that's just
Yeah,
business.
well, I
to you,
mean,
I
give
first love
give
it.
your receipts why you disagree.
I just say, because if you're a woman and you would like some flavor, some options, and 3 paychecks coming into your home, then if you can get 3 men to agree to that to help, take care of the children. If you're a competent woman, a woman on her business, and some men are like, you know what, I think you are, better for these reasons, and I would like to get on your team, and then they would all agree. And I think that like the appeal of that would have nothing to do with if they're alpha or beta. It's like, are you playing your role? Are you attractive?
Wait a minute, hold on. She said the 3 paychecks sound good. So the 3 paychecks sound good as long as they coming from 3 men.
Yeah, 3 men.
Well, what about them
that's-
coming from 3 women?
The 3
Well, it's the
men,
same. Like, it's
sound
always.
great.
No, see, now she cool with the
how
paychecks.
he
A
had-
minute
Oh,
ago,
well,
she
I
wasn't
didn't
cool
hear
with it.
what
See,
happened.
yeah, you see my
So
point?
you're gonna-
That's that male chauvinist act.
Well, I'm a misandrist,
Line, I agree
so
with you. I
I'm
think
here.
the bottom line is based on the level of maturity. Yes, ma'am, I agree 100%.
Right, because what works for everybody is like what
That's
works for
right.
you. Like,
Exactly.
so I mean, I personally, I don't think anyone that I've ever dated would agree to
look,
that.
Let me put
but
it like this: we got people. There are people out here who literally badmouth marriage.
Yes.
Why? Because they and their partner failed at it, or they've never done it, and they'll have something to say because they just don't. They couldn't do it themselves.
Yeah.
So this is the same situation. You can badmouth polygamy and all of the other stuff that goes with it all you want, but if you've never practiced it or did it, then how do you know?
I really don't personally think alpha male or beta. I see Stephanie said that no alpha man is going for. I agree.
Stephanie, I agree with you, and that was my point.
But once again, how many alpha men are there?
It's gonna be a lot
Well,
of
you know
them when
what?
it comes to sharing your wife. There's
I'm
gonna
glad
be a
you
lot
brought.
of
I'm
them.
glad you brought that up because.
But they don't mind sharing
Well, wait a
their
minute.
dingling around
they
town.
don't.
So
No, they
what
don't.
But this is,
difference is
and
it?
this
Exactly
and
what
this
they
and
wanna
this
do.
is exactly where I'm going with this whole topic because of what's actually happening and the fact that we just calling it something else. We actually living this life already.
Yeah, it's like
Now,
people
look,
are already
but let
doing
me show
it.
y'all something.
Cynthia, we're talking.
According,
Go.
what? Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say what the topic was. Read the topic up at the front.
Okay,
And read
according
some of
to
the notes in it.
male to female ratios in America, there are 97.95 males for every 100 females, which actually goes against what the popular idea that there is an offset number for men to women.
So
Wait,
a minute.
what?
They saying
In other words, you know how people be going around all the time saying that
There's
it's
more
more women than men.
Mhm.
Okay, now,
started at 97.95.
but here, whoa. Let me finish.
Okay.
It's broken down though strictly male to female. It doesn't give all the
They
other.
gave.
Uh-huh.
They in
Now,
prison.
let's be real. The pool of male partners these days isn't very large, based on the fact that you got a lot of incarcerated, unemployable, You got mental illness.
Mentally ill.
You got mental illness.
Addicts.
You got people with addictions. You got, and then of course you got your gay community. So that automatically eliminates so many that it's like, what's really left? Now that prompted me to check on something else, and I wanted to see which cities have the largest single male to female ratios. Right? Greenville, North Carolina. It has 1,227 single men per 1,000 single men.
Oh wow!
So in other words, there's an extra 227 women walking around that ain't gonna have a man under those circumstances.
Move out of North Carolina, ladies.
Now, Florence, South Carolina, has 1,212 women to 1,000 single men. Burlington, North Carolina, 1,185 to 1,000, and Brownsville, Harlan, Texas, has 1,172 to 1,000. New York City has more than 200,000 more single women than men. Atlanta, 95,000 more women than men. Washington, 63, D.C., 63,000 more women than men. Philadelphia, 60,000 more. So.
And wait a minute, do Atlanta, I'm just curious.
That's right there, 95,000. 95,000 more women than men in Atlanta. So here's the point is, a lot of women, no matter how much they hope and pray, will never be married. A lot of women will never have really a decent man. How many? I'm just me personally, my wife too, because I know she know. We know plenty of women who have gone their whole life and never even really known what a decent dude was. Real talk. So now the question becomes: would you rather, or would you be able to have a man that is as decent as any good man that take care of his business and you, but he happens to have another wife, or keep being by yourself or with a bunch of dudes that's just running up in it and doing their thing?
Some ladies be like, I'll never get married and I'll just be single the rest of my life.
That's fine, because like I said, it ain't for everybody.
What's the candy toys or something?
Yeah, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? They catch them a quick cold shot every now and then. Yeah, you know.
What was that question she said?
Which ethnic group is dominant to practice this? I don't think that there is I don't think one is more dominant than the other. I think white people are probably more prone to polyamory than other races. Right. What?
I was just gonna say the black community does it. They just don't call it that.
Yeah, and that's exactly what. And this is exactly my point. What did I just say a minute ago? We just calling it something else.
I know, because I'm late rolling my chair in here.
Right.
Down the street, cross the street.
Yeah, like y'all, everybody knows folks got like family around the block.
And I didn't get to that part, but trust me, it's in here.
Because that's what time it already is, you know.
Yep.
Folks find out they got cousins.
I mean, and here's the thing. Like, we frown upon it in society at this point, but let's keep it 100. Polygamy been around since the beginning. And if you want to get biblical with it, it's in the Bible and everything. It only became taboo in recent centuries. What? Speak on it. You're the anthropologist over here. I know you know your stuff. In the beginning,
it was women with multiple husbands.
Speak on that.
It was, so, this is where I always take it.
No, hold on. You guys, my audience out there. Yeah, she got a microphone. Oh. My audience out there, I want y'all to understand something. My daughter is very well studied in anthropology and in history, and I want you, Tatum, right quick, go ahead and break down that the matriarchy and how things got shifted.
Oh yes. So in the beginning, when things were right and righteous, the women controlled the land, and they controlled the kids, and like the families went so more by the mother's line, and things were truly a matriarchy. And so women, men didn't run anything, so there was never really any like concrete marriage, and there was certainly nothing about like if a woman wanted to leave her man, like if he wasn't doing whatever, she'd be like, listen, okay, I'm just gonna like for example in Bedouin tribes from the Middle East, we'll just use them. They would turn their tents the opposite way, because women also controlled the house, because it's common now, people are like, oh, the man's the head of the house, and it's like in ancient times women were the people that built the homes, like they built the tents, they built the homes, they made sure all the food was ready, and it had nothing to do with like this traditional idea that we now have of patriarchy, but it's just like really the men were considered more or less incompetent to do this kind of work, so they were like sent off to like use their muscle to like go defend stuff and kill stuff like that. That's what they were supposed to be out doing. But any like of those delicate tasks that require like house and family stuff, they really weren't a part of that. The kids didn't belong to them. And so you have to understand, like, marriage as we know it was created by men to put a ball and chain on women, to put a ball and chain on them sexually, to make sure every incompetent male was rewarded with a wife, rewarded with sexual access, because otherwise women would pick the best of the crop, the most nice looking of the crop,
which they should do now.
The
strongest, the men that had qualities that they felt that they wanted to reproduce. And so, you know, when religions, and that's all of them, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, they came about to stifle women, to stop women from having multiple lovers. It was like, we gonna do what we want. Like, because the kids didn't belong to men. The kids belonged to her family. The kids were raised by her uncle, her grandma, her mother, her grandmother, the aunts in the family. The kids did not belong to the men. So when you take away like paternity and that importance to continuing a man's bloodline, then it doesn't matter who the father is. Like, no one cares. So that's where marriage and that monogamy and all this stuff came in. It came into kind of, it's for men. It was never for women. And of course now it's been turned on women, and women think like, oh, I gotta cook and clean, and I gotta sweep, and you know, just all this stupid stuff, and the man is the head of the house, that just a bunch of
on his ass and does nothing.
Because they get men that won't even like watch their own kids. They're like, I had to watch my kids. It's now, like, what?
And to that point, wouldn't it be better to leave those men out of the equation and be a part of a situation, a family structure that's building the children and the family in a stronger way?
Yes, I agree. I feel like incompetent men deserve nothing.
Right. Now that brings me to, but wait a minute, hold on. Because I'm gonna get to that point. I got a whole point to make about that. Now wait a minute. Chris Cheney says a patriarchal tribe society will support your premises. The more advanced the society, the more likely a similar but more decentralized form of polygamous relationships. Matriarchal societies tend to be non-committed, less concerned with marriage.
Yeah, I mean,
Drew Thomas said, define in the beginning.
We're talking about in the beginning, like we're talking like prehistory, like we're talking in the most like ancient,
way before.
We're talking the most ancient times.
Like something you remember about Wonder Woman?
Yes,
the Amazon.
That's actually what that was about.
Yeah, there's
kind of like a little bit of true history in there.
Yes, there's some truth in it.
And there was a lot of societies like that. Like it's a whole thing. We don't even have time to get into that.
It's like, Let me ask you this: when you went over, was it Italy or France? I don't know which one of them. Was it something that kind of showed a little bit of that?
Well, in that case, they talk about like the oracles, like, you know, the Oracle of Delphi. That's what I went to go see. Like, they're painted on the ceiling of the Vatican, which I found in a book I read. And so those women, you know, men would come, the generals, and this is as like the world was switching out of matriarchy into patriarchy, but the men would come and they would consult with these women. They're like, should we go to war? Should we do this? Like, nothing would move without these women, like, saying yes or no and consulting the gods. Like, nothing would happen. Like, not even a pin would drop. Like, nothing.
And then I'll tell you, that movie Wakanda kind of touched on that a little bit too, with the Amazon women. Remember his
the warriors.
Yes, the warriors, the same thing.
Yeah. Sure did.
It was moving unless they.
Yes, and they were out there beating everybody down.
Regina said no homosexuals. Okay, yeah. Regina.
No homosexuals.
Now, let's see. Nicola says she'd rather be single than share. If someone wants to be in a relationship like that, that's their choice in business. And I agree. The thing about that, and many women, most women think the same way Nicola do. They'd rather be by themselves. And see, this goes back to what I was saying earlier about the way our family structure is in the black community. We're quick to move out, and go off into our own and struggle rather than have a collective respect, mutual relationship within a household that benefits the entire family. It's like, I got to get mine, I'm gone, you know, and then they go out and
now you see what
do whatever.
She put in there
now,
about the,
yeah, she said check out Proverbs 31 for folks, but I think King James put his spin on it. Yeah,
James put a spin on it.
I'm a heathen. I don't know those Bible quotes.
Now, the first polygamist in the Bible was Lamech, a descendant of Cain. He appears in chapter 4 of Genesis, and he had two wives. Their names were Ada and Zillah. Now, here's the thing about it, and a lot of people, when we start getting into the religious side of this, people think that polygamy is a sin. Polygamy is not a sin. The sin is adultery. That means that rather than be married to the women that you're sleeping with, it means that the fact is that you know if you sleep with women that you ain't married to, now you can get stoned for that. But otherwise, it's not. And in fact, if you look all through the Bible, I believe it was Solomon that had 700 wives and 300 concubines. He was a busy fella.
Well, he was also just like doing political marriages.
Yeah. It says now in the Bible, the men had so many wives because in the Bible, marriage is the act of becoming one flesh. So if one was already one flesh with someone and then goes and becomes one flesh with another, this is what the Bible defines as adultery. Okay. Now, what I was going to say about this polygamy is that it actually still does exist. It's just underground. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you got Uncle Zeke. He got a family on the other side of town, plus the one over here, and we actually know people like that. You got Ray. He got 2 baby mamas fighting child support. You got Kanika. She got 3 baby daddies, and the list goes on. What's the difference? Anybody?
I guess the people feel like they are.
I'm just saying.
People feel like more righteous because they're fighting. Like like
people want you. This is the part I call.
That's the dysfunction in it.
It's
though.
kind of the same, and it's weird. Then you want your grown kids to meet other grown kids that's supposed to be siblings, and you think
I think people just like dysfunction.
Right. Versus if you do it the polygamy way and they all raised together, the kids are gonna be just like cousins and friends, right? And they're gonna all get along and be happy. Versus when Uncle Joe,
nah, it's gonna always be.
There's
still gonna.
Jeffrey, and he got somebody pregnant on Anthony, and then he got somebody pregnant.
I still think it's the social
and it's still
stigma.
gonna be. There's still gonna be bickering. There's still gonna be fighting. There's still gonna be issues. I mean, it's not like this. None of this is a perfect world. But the fact that you can't knock polygamy and then expect monogamy to be perfect, because neither one are. And it's all about the individuals and how they're able to navigate through these things.
Exactly.
That's the whole trick to it all.
There was this. There's this. We should have found the channel.
Drew Thomas said a lot of the monogamy came as a Western culture philosophy emerged. Exactly. And Chris Cheney said the anthropologist is correct in her assertion. So.
Oh, I thank you. I do try to be right because I always have an axe to the grind over here.
Buying some books to read up on something,
or at least knowledgeable.
Places to see.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the part you were going to say?
I don't even remember.
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Well, here's the thing, and I say what's the difference, but the fact is everybody would benefit from the collective participation and the cohesion that would bring about in the family.
Yes.
Because I still got a point that I'm gonna make about that.
Okay.
But now now think about this though. Even in the Italian communities, the mob back in the day, they had a thing called a gumar. Anybody know what a gumar is?
No.
It's a side piece.
Oh Lord,
That's
a
the
mistress.
Side piece. And everybody knew it.
And a mistress.
Okay, so I think Regina lived in Japan. Isn't Japan? Is that the country that
where they have the geisha?
Wife and, yeah.
Every society practices the side piece thing. Some are more open with it than others.
Was whipping their guma's asses too because they was like, oh no.
And guess what? And after the fight,
sisters, them Italian women was going.
And after the fight, everybody went back to their corner, and it was business as usual.
Yeah, because what were you going to do? I mean, this is where
you weren't going to do a damn thing.
This is where I disagree with the patriarchy because it's like I feel like women should be able to openly have their husband and side pieces flirting about, and and the men should agree with where women I feel like are more socially groomed to like accept such a thing, and men are like I deserve to have my own, and it's like no,
right? And
you don't. Deserve.
I found that and truth be told, I found the apparently the guy in who is I don't know if he's still alive or not, but this was in 2014. He had the world's biggest family. He had 39 wives, 127 offspring. At last count, and that was in 14. So ain't no telling how many he got now. Zayona Chana, let's see, 34 wives, 94 children, 33 grandchildren. They all live with him in a 100-room, 4-story house perched among the hills of the Baktwang village in the Indian state of Mizoram. So my man got it going on. But now, check this out, y'all.
Yeah, headache.
Yes, he has high blood pressure.
I'm sure. Drew Thomas Tatum wants to know, do you think that we are meant to be monogamous? Many cultures, both past and present, serve well as polygamous.
I think it just depends. Because people have always had the option, and sometimes people decide, like, I'm still going to be monogamous, and others, it just depends. Because, like, for example, I watched this whole documentary about the harems was it Turkey? In ancient Turkey, and some of the last, like, what do they call them? Caliphs or whatever. Some of the harem members, there was some in particular who were quite conniving and got the kings to fall in love, and so then that was the end of the harem. Like, these men were like, well, this was our cultural tradition, but
I want to just be with her.
Yeah, they're like, she's my favorite, and that's just the end of it. And, that often happens. I don't know. I think people kind of are prone to being monogamous, in my personal opinion.
I think there's a strong willingness to be monogamous, but I also believe that also believe that polygamy is also an option, and I think it should not be removed from the table for those who can practice it
for the people who want to
be happy in it, because there are, and in fact, I mean, even if you go on like TikTok and some of these other social platforms, there's a large community of polyamorous.
My problem though, these people always look musty. Like, they look nasty. They look like they have an odor. Like, their hair is always greasy, and I'm just like, who is agreeing to this? Like, because it's like,
hey, it's somebody for everybody. I know some strange couples.
That's what I'm always. The people are like, I can't find nobody. I'm like, you can't find nobody.
You're right.
Because I'm like, them nasty looking people.
Okay, so listen. Here's one of my main arguments. If we are now, here we are in a society. Let's say that we snap our fingers and tomorrow polyamory became legal. And let's say that for the most part, society was open to it. Kind of like how everybody is so-called, well, not everybody, but people are at least pretending to be open to same-sex marriage. But let's say this is a thing. What would it look like? What would the landscape look like if women chose up? They got into a household and a relationship with a man and his wife or wives. I ain't talking about no extreme situations like no 10, 20, nothing like that. But got into that situation in a stable relationship and everyone thrived in it. Would that remove a lot of otherwise eligible women from the playing field for these single men who do not want to get their stuff together and make them more serious about relationships or commitment and take them sort of off the board? Would that make their dating pool a lot less?
Wait, can we repeat the question?
Okay.
I'm like, wait.
Okay.
Okay. Wait. Okay, wait. So are you saying that the unworthy males get nothing,
basically,
and the women,
what would that look
who
like?
want like a certain type of man, like the one that is productive, that's an alpha?
Let's say a productive alpha male ends up with 3 wives. Let's just say 3 wives, and even if she's got children by other men,
right?
And she ends up in a marriage with him and 2 other women and all of their children, and they all cohabitate and gravitate together and build. Does that, or would that change the landscape for single males who ain't got nothing but BS on their mind, who can't pull it together, who won't work right, who won't do the things they need to do, the ones that won't take care of their own children, and so on?
Well, I feel unproductive men deserve nothing. They don't deserve a sniff or snatch of coochie. They certainly don't deserve any children. And so I think
Regina said yes, it would make the unworthy up their games. I think so. I think it would change the landscape of dating.
But I disagree, actually.
Okay.
Because we just talked about this, but in our generation and the ones younger than, so I'm a millennial, and the Zoomers, like, they're seeing a rise in like the incel type of dudes. Is a little bit okay.
Bring
So
the chair over. Slide the chair over something. Move the mic back. There you go.
wait, what? Okay. So they're seeing like what they say is a rise in the incels. So like the young men's college enrollment is down. Like a lot more of them are living at home with family. They're not working. They're really not sure, I guess, right now what is going on.
Regina said a mixtape generation.
Yeah, like they just video games and mixtapes.
All your
Yeah, they'd be in the house watching OnlyFans instead of like finding. Anyway, we're not even gonna get to. So they are. The sociologists are concerned.
I think it's the food. It's killing their
yeah, they have, but they have low
Something in the water.
testosterone. They have erectile well, we're not gonna get into that because you work there, so we're not gonna touch that. But I will say this to your point, Mom. They had I noticed. So I'm watching NBA games with my boyfriend, so they know that the NBA is mostly young men watching, right? They have more erectile dysfunction commercials, and like the old Cialis.
That is true. I didn't think
The old Cialis and Viagra commercials, you know, it's like older couple and they're riding their motorcycle like that in the hot tub. But now they have like these young dudes like on their phone and stuff. So it's
the phones,
the
radiation in the phone.
it's something is going on. So like the testosterone is dropping. I mean, we could go down a whole list. That could be a whole show, like of what's happening with the testosterone. But like it's impacting. So when men's testosterone is low, like they don't have that drive to like go out and conquer the world and like get it. Like they don't have that fire. And so when they lack that fire, like they're as a woman, they're useless to me. That's for sure. I mean, not just on the like sex aspect, but it's like they are not productive. Like they aren't actually trying to do anything, and they're not going to do anything. And I do believe my conspiracy side of my mind is like that. You know, this is a part of something bigger, but ultimately it's going to destabilize like. I feel like Western society.
To the women running things and the men is just running.
Well, no, because these men are angry and resentful that women are making more money
and attacking women.
Yes, and they've studies have showed like when men, well, first of all, when men are not productive, they self-destruct. So they start doing drugs, they start gambling, they start buying prostitutes, they just start doing wild stuff. Like they.
Ooh, you know what? I'm glad you said that. Because it's what amazes me. What amazes me is the amount of men who actually participate in prostitution.
Oh, it's a huge. I mean, that's what OnlyFans is.
That show was what was it? CNN when they was remember that show that they used to have, and they would set the guys up to buy the prostitutes.
Well, that's child porn.
No, it wasn't child. Was it child porn?
Yeah, that. Are you talking about with Chris Hansen where he come out the room and be like, yeah, that was them trying to sleep with kids.
Hey y'all, look. John Merriweather say I'm 54 on blood pressure medication and I'm knocking it out the box every time. Yeah, I'm something wrong with these young guys.
Yeah.
See,
that's another thing. Everybody thinks if you're on blood pressure pills, it kills them, and that's not true either.
Now
I worked in a testosterone clinic for years, and trust me, these little young 30-year-olds.
Yeah, they down bad.
40,
now,
Vanita, like, oh my God, he's so young.
Vanita GHW says she's been married 2 times. Still don't understand the benefits of polyamory when it's multiple women with one man. What's the perks for the women?
There are no perks.
There's no perks.
Well, I suppose the only perks is you can get him up out your bedroom and somebody else can like go clean and watch the kids.
Well,
2 paychecks.
but see here's
there's multiple paychecks.
And some I bet you they wouldn't even want to give up the loot.
I don't think that there is one more beneficial than the other when it comes to the male or the female. I think that it is a collective agreement to cohabitate or coexist in a way that benefits financially and even intimately. I mean, let's be honest. We got it's women out here running around every single day who don't have a man, can't get a man, can't find a man that's worth their damn time.
I think it's because they don't leave the house.
Now,
that's just
I'm
now.
Go ahead.
A lot of I'm gonna say this, and I know this is kind of like a weird way to put this because I can't speak for what it's like to be a woman, but were I a woman, and I ran across nothing but cheesy, whacked out dudes, and I met a guy who was capable of showing me the kind of love and energy that I'm looking for, I would rather be with him on that level than be with somebody who ain't worth a damn. That's just my thinking. I mean, it's the same thing where women are concerned. Why would I want to be?
Think that way, 'cause you always hear men say,
even if
things.
as a man, I ain't got no use for no woman who ain't pulling her weight. I just don't. I don't have no use for it. I mean, when to say what's in it for the woman, there are men who could also say the same thing when it comes to choosing particular types of women, because you got some women out here that ain't worth their damn salt. They just cute, and if that's all you bring it to the table, and last time I checked, every female walking around out here got one of them things between her legs. So what's the benefits in marriage for a man? On any level, even in a multiple situation, what are they?
First of all, married men live longer than single men. So, and
you think and married women don't?
Married women die sooner,
or the shit out of them.
No, this is the science. I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
I didn't make the rules.
They're like, baby, where's my shoes?
Because
my coat is. Yeah, they worry the shit out the women.
Where are my keys?
Baby,
I'm hungry.
Baby, you ain't gonna die before
Where
me.
the keys at?
You can't go nowhere.
No, I'm too stubborn.
I know. Yeah.
Oh God, y'all will both be old, like just sitting there together.
Each other out, potato would be like,
I'm gonna have
not
to.
in this.
I'm rolling my chair up out
all
the
y'all
room.
need to know, we're gonna need help in a few years because our kids are gonna put us in a home. We're gonna need one of y'all to come
I
bust
would
us out.
never, but I will lock you in the in-law quarters so y'all can stay in there.
You know your daddy know how to pick locks.
I know, right? I'm not even gonna be
You
able.
already know that ain't gonna work. Even with Alzheimer's, I'll be picking locks. You know, certain stuff just gonna stay
Now
with
look
me.
what Drew said.
They have these sorry ass women who have no sex drive too. Ooh man, women have a responsibility to bring something to the table other than what they lay down with, and that is exactly my point.
Drew.
Now,
that's good. It's a mean.
I mean,
that's right,
up,
and,
He's
and
right.
that's the truth. So while we
Yeah,
talk
true,
about the
Drew.
benefits,
It's
the benefits
true.
of men, where the women's benefits. I mean, we go out here and we work, and I'm not saying women don't work, but I'm just saying if we're talking about traditional type situations,
That's what you're supposed
these men get out here and get this paper. They trying to take care of their woman. I mean, our job. Listen, we have a natural propensity to provide. We have a natural. Or men do. I don't know about them boys, but we have a natural need to take care of ours. Listen. All I wanted to do was make sure my kids had everything they needed and wanted, and my wife was
Thank
taken
you,
care
Dad.
of. Period. You're welcome, dear.
No.
And the point of it all is, if a woman got a man that ain't doing that, you right. She's not gonna get any benefits from it. I agree.
Drew, since you're single, what is that age group? Cause see, I think if the woman's getting up at 4 a.m, got to work out to keep her body right, she got to be at work at 6. Then she got to come home, cook, clean, feed the babies, make sure they do their homework, cause the man ain't helping with none of that, cause he at work all day. Her ass is tired.
Okay, everybody gonna be tired. We all got work
She
to
be
do.
like, so Drew,
That's the
maybe
whole
that's why
point.
maybe
We all
not that- no sex drive.
But-
She might just.
but yes,
don't be
like-
trying to make excuses.
But stress does take women's sex drives down. I'm actually in the middle of reading a book about this. It's called In the Flow. If anybody wants
Okay,
to
and while y'all-
read about that,
Who's
In the flow.
author?
I don't know.
See, we supposed
I don't
to get
never know
paid
the
for
part.
that. Anyway, and if that's the case, you got men running around here. Some of these men think they got erectile dysfunction. They ain't got no erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, it just might be the woman, huh?
Thank you.
No, I think it's erectile
I do think so
dysfunction.
too, baby. Because
Listen,
Well, it
I
could
know-
be, but I just think it's too many of it. It's too many of
Young
them.
guys that had low testosterone.
Okay, I'm gonna say this.
It's
I
environmental.
know a
It's
woman right now
environmental, too.
who was complaining about her husband cheating, talking about I don't know why he got all these women blowing up his phone.
I'm
and
screaming.
What?
No, I just said I'm screaming. No, go
He's
ahead.
doing all of this here. I don't know why these women blowing up his phone. His dick don't even work.
Oh,
And I said, what you mean is it don't work for you.
well,
he ain't blowing. Them women ain't blowing his phone up for nothing. Don't get it twisted.
see, now it's time to pack your bags. She need to go ahead and pack her bags.
She did.
Yeah.
It's time to go because that's a mess. Okay, what's the
And
most?
John Merriweather said most women are looking for a man that can bail them out of a previous relationship. So when they come to the new relationship, they have their hands stuck out because they got that thing between their legs and think that that is what's going to make it all work until she gets tired of him, and then she moves on to the next man and drain him as well. It's a pattern. And it's been
Well,
going on
women
for a long time.
women are vampires
Damn
by
it, boy.
nature,
It's
so
really hit or
it is
miss,
what it. I
Yeah.
mean, we are. Listen, when in the Bible did that, who started that? The women are the receivers. Okay, so that's why they got the handout. Women want to receive things, whatever that may be.
That's also, to me, that's also a recent phenomenon because I mean, let's face it. If you start talking about marriage, especially like when we did that one show where we talked about arranged marriages, women in the past, and see, this is where people get confused about marriage in its current state and what we think about it based on versus what it was intended for. And these women, when a man chose them women came with a dowry. They came with paper. You had to have money to get married. Your parents had to make sure that you had something to give to that man before he would accept you.
Well, now let's go to that since you said money.
Well, it's
Hugh
some more
Hefner.
patriarchal
Well,
nonsense.
did Hugh
but
Hefner, was he married? Was he married when he
I
died
don't-
with the young 2 girls?
I
in the
have
house?
no idea.
Okay, well, I know some of these rich ball players and all that, they not married to the women, but these women sure don't mind laying up in the house with somebody rich. So, it might not have a title on it.
I mean, yeah, 'cause there's a benefit
they sure
to
don't
it.
mind being there.
Is an open relationship the same as? I'm sorry, polygamy. I've been reading it.
No, I don't think open relationships are the same. I think open relationships,
Yeah, two
people
together,
have
they just do
yeah
what
they
they
just
want.
do their thing.
Polygamy, they married.
And even
it's like everyone's in the house
even
together,
Everyone's in the
kind of.
house
even in open relationships, though, I think that some people have boundaries and guidelines. It's just that they're having sex with other people or whatever, or dating or whatever they're doing. But I think everybody has their own set of guidelines for whatever that is.
I definitely believe a woman was bald and rich like a who's the man on Amazon? Well, I should have said that name, but one of the rich companies.
A baller.
Yeah, if the woman was balling like that, I think she could have a lot of men, just like how you're rich men.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem with a woman having a lot of men.
There's no problem.
There's no problem.
There's no problem.
No.
I'm
I'm just here to be the voice of opposition.
Yeah, I know. And you love to troll. You like your mother. Y'all
I
a couple
do.
of trolls.
Oh, it
I'm gonna
brings
get
me-
y'all some troll hats when you come on the show.
Yeah, you definitely give me like the little like a treasure troll
Yeah.
wig to put on. That's perfect.
So when you get ready to start trolling,
Yeah,
you
I'm
can
gonna just
pop your
pull it
wig
out.
on.
Like,
I forgot what the hell I was about to say.
oops.
The thing is though, I mean, like here's where the rub will come in with multiple husbands. Now let's keep this 100.
One could be building the garage, one could be building the driveway, one could be putting a bookshelf up.
And what happens when one of y'all, one of the men get you pregnant? Well, I'm just saying, what happens when one of them gets you pregnant?
It's everybody's
what happened
baby.
Well, no, and I agree with that. But now let's get into the sexual side of it. Is that gonna pose a problem? Is that gonna be an issue?
Baby can handle that.
Wait, what did you say, Dad? Is it good what?
Go on, tell them what you think.
Oh wait, I want to hear what Dad says before I make a rebuttal.
I said, well, see, here's the thing. People would like to try and make all things equal. All things are not equal, and here's why. And I'm not saying one benefits more than the other.
What a great way
Here's
to start
what I'm
this.
saying. A man can go out here tonight and create 3 babies.
Mm-hmm.
A woman can't create but one every year.
This is why men need birth control.
I'm just saying.
This is why men need birth control.
Yeah,
Men need birth control.
Now
Now I don't disagree with that.
Because they the ones spreading. Yes, like they the ones causing all this chaos in the communities. Okay, wait. So, Dad, you're saying what was the question one more time? You said because she could only get pregnant once, and the men.
My point is that men and women, and in general, just aside from the whole sexual aspect of it, but in general, men and women are built differently. Men think differently, and I mean, just as a prime example, this is one of the weirdest things. I know y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but this is one of those things where, like, I hear women complain about men sending them dick pictures. I think that is the most an unsolicited dick picture is probably the most asinine thing a man can do.
So you think the women
But they love doing it.
But no,
they love to do it.
No. Listen to what I said.
Mm-hmm.
I said unsolicited.
No.
If somebody's sending titty pictures unsolicited, that's some next level shit.
Like
Yeah, no man
I'm
is
not
about
gonna
to
say that I would-
complain.
Some of the women like it too and still complain. They will sit there and keep that picture in their
women,
phone and look at it every now and then while they clowning that motherfucker. Okay, so my
Yes,
point.
we are.
My point is, in a man's mind, see, because men are visual.
They thought that was a good idea.
In a man's mind, that's a great idea. When she see this, she's gonna want some. That's what men are thinking, and that's the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah, because it
But it's
doesn't
true.
translate.
It doesn't translate.
It reminds me
Not to a woman.
Visual women
This-
not like that.
This man that I one of Tyler's friends, he goes, what did this man say to him? He said women. He's like, women like what they hear. He's like, men like what they see. And I said, I was like, you nailed it.
And I was that was the
He's
next.
from another country.
That was the next
So
part
that's
of what
the
I was
other
about
thing.
to say.
But he barely speak English, and he over here going on
But
this.
he's telling the truth.
Yes, this
And
profound.
it just shows you that it's an international language. Because let me show you something. That was my very next point. Women, on the other hand, and this is where men fall and drop the ball and fail. Because most guys don't have enough swag
Not the Chicago
to
players.
get in a woman. Yeah, well, you know how we do Chicago, you dig?
Also, everyone stay away from Chicago and Mississippi men and Detroit men.
They got the gift.
Run
So,
away, Ohio, run
They
away.
got the gift, baby.
If you enjoy,
Just saying.
talk you out your
Hey, you
drawers, your
smiling,
house,
be butt
cars,
naked with a bow tie on for
clothes.
5 minutes.
your dignity. You want nothing less. Run.
So talk you straight out your dignity and everything. My point is,
I agree, Phyllis.
men fail to realize that most women are what we refer to as sapiosexuals. They enjoy that conversation. They enjoy that ability to make them think, the ability to put some things on their mind and make them feel some kind of way. But most men don't realize that because they're thinking like a man all the time instead of thinking the way a woman thinks and giving her what it is that she needs. Now, a man who knows what a woman needs and has no intention of really giving it to her, that's a dangerous dude. Y'all got to watch out for them. That's them Chicago
I
cats.
think some men that have sisters,
Run away.
There's a good positive relationship in the household with the sisters. I think some of those men might be a little better. Maybe
Regina Freeman said the gift of sucking out your soul.
Yeah, she's right, man.
Well, good luck to everyone out there. Good luck.
Oh, y'all.
You know what? I just wanted
Back
to.
to
Oh no, go ahead.
I just wanted to get back to when you did the women ratio and men ratio. What was Texas? Because I always heard Texas had more men. And me living here,
I don't know. Let me
back
see.
in the 80s, it seemed like it was more men than women. And then living here now seemed to me look
Here
like
we
it's more
go.
men.
McAllen, Texas has 25% more women. El Paso, 27% more. Ooh, Memphis. Tennessee, Mississippi, Arkansas, that little corner
That's
right
more
there,
men
17% more women. No, 17%.
17%
more
but that's
women.
still low. 17%, you got a chance going there.
17%
was
There you go.
more women.
Yeah, Mississippi's one of them places you don't want to.
I told y'all before, Alaska had more men. Colorado.
San Antonio. I
There
bet
you
you
go.
San
San
Antonio,
Antonio
was more.
has, I bet it's more men. 13% more women. Every single state
What about Houston?
has more women.
But now this gets into some biological
Houston, Sugar
things.
Land, Baytown, 4.9% more women.
Oh, that's low. Chance of getting married
Yeah.
there, 4.9.
Fort Worth, Texas, 2.5%.
I think North Dakota has more
Numbers go-
men.
the numbers
And it's
get lower.
funny. I have 4 friends, 2 that moved to the Dallas area, end up single, moving there, end up getting husbands, and 2 ladies from Chicago that just retired to move to Houston and end up getting husbands less than 2 years.
Also,
Some like good
you could
guys,
think
too.
of like the states that are more family or cities that are more family oriented,
Right.
like places
Yeah.
like Chicago, especially
Chicago,
South Side,
Russell.
Let's see.
and like Atlanta.
Cynthia said, what about Virginia? Richmond, Virginia, Cynthia, 14.7% more women.
Now this makes me think too, like it's more natural for there to be more women because it's easier to have female children. Like women's bodies fight having male children, so it's
Trying to say
miraculous.
weird disease.
A mutation, sure, but not a disease, you know.
Damn.
So I mean,
God.
listen, nature.
You dangerous, man.
Nature is gonna do what she does. It's not my fault. I'm just here to report the facts. So I, you know,
Yeah, I know when she gets ready to have children, you know she's going to have all boys.
Lord have mercy.
I just watched some like
Hey,
flying off and stuff.
be glad they'll have a strong grandfather.
Daddy.
Drew Thomas says now.
That's a good
He
one.
said add another wrinkle to the ratio by adding educated to it. No, Drew,
Dun
that's
dun
gonna
dun.
really throw the numbers way out of whack for real.
And well, that's the problem. That
Hey,
article.
look,
I
she
was
said,
playing-
and Regina said, and non-felons. Right.
Yeah.
That's
I
very
mean,
difficult
I don't
thing to
think
do.
felons should be completely off the list. If
I mean, 'cause
Yeah,
it
we
could
know
be-
you like the felonious dudes.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea.
I mean, I guess
What's
it depends
this
on what it is. It depends on what it is.
I plead the fifth. Okay.
Yeah, she's extremely hilarious. She has us dying.
And also,
laughing
I've
all the
reformed
time.
my trifling ways, but
You
nonetheless,
reformed your trifling way.
Oh, tell us about it, because we didn't know.
no, we're not going to talk. That's not
Is
the.
this a snitch session?
That's not the purpose of this show. But the purpose of this show is. But I wanted
Lord
to bring
have
it back
mercy.
just for a second.
Bring it back.
So Alaska and Colorado and North Dakota. Now some of them is definitely some felons, but they have more men. There are more men in those states, and I mean, I'm sure they know.
Yeah,
how
because there ain't nothing else up there.
they know how to chop firewood, shoot a moose,
Shoot a
fight a
moose.
bear. So you know, I mean,
That goes back to that TikTok video when they had the 3 brothers. Remember, they was like they hunt and
not what were your trifling ways. We'll have to talk about it offline, not on a not on a recorded call. So we're gonna we can. But and another thing, you were gonna say like how men and women are built differently. You know, it occurred to me, and I thought of this. I said to myself, but you know, women can keep having sex, men can't. So really, it would behoove a woman to have multiple husbands because for her pleasure.
I don't
You
I
know.
remember my grandmother said women can look away longer than men.
I don't know.
Down.
I don't know what me and you been dealing with.
They get
No, this is
70, 80.
this is nature.
Whatever.
This is nature. Listen, I didn't make
Well,
the
I'm
rules.
a freak of nature then.
Ew. That's the first of all.
Right. Now you go.
This is to roll my chair up.
Hey, you asked
Goodbye, Black Factor family. I'm leaving, and I'm never returning again.
Look at Drew. Who told you that lie?
I listen. Well, I mean, maybe it's
Answer the man.
I've had my guy friends complain. They're like, "Why all the women want to? Why are y'all never satisfied? Why do you keep tearing?" So
Hey, it ain't the women's fault. It's his fault for not handling his business.
I disagree, actually, because again, women can. It's like the Energizer
Hold
Bunny.
on, now I'm finna take a turn. Here's the
Oh
thing.
Lord, do I need to roll my chair out of the room?
Here's the thing.
I shouldn't
You
even
got
brought
you
this
got
up.
you got two types of people
I'm sorry, Mom.
in a relationship, and especially in a sexual relationship. You got givers and you got takers, and rarely do the two meet. Some folks
I need some
give
tequila.
and make it good to who they with, and if you got two givers,
Have water.
that's a never-ending session. If you got two takers, they're gonna be fighting each other.
All right, this is giving me the ick. We're
I'm
moving
just saying.
past to the next
Hey.
part of the.
You brought it up.
Nature-
There was some comments up there that you kind of let go about. The Black Factor family is funny. I thought the Inside Stepping family was funny, but
John said, Brian, you're absolutely right, because I have to buy different baby mamas that are the same age.
Ooh.
Damn it, boy.
Well, Sheila gonna put the
About
picture.
Y'all-
there.
Sheila, did you get pictures?
Oh my God.
That's y'all are. Allian Jones says it takes dedication for a man to understand the body of a woman he's with. I agree.
Yeah, some of them just lazy.
Well,
and they
truth
just
be
don't
told,
care, so
some
that's why
men
women have,
some men are quick studies, and some men understand more than others. Some men just don't give a damn. Let's just keep it 100.
And I think that's a lot. Like, some people are just selfish. So what can
Yeah,
you do?
that's what it is.
Yeah, you
So
got some
think
people,
the ones
but see that
that
same selfishness
is the
ties
ones
back into what we was just talking about
What
earlier.
about running around the corner and got babies all over the place?
Well, that yeah,
'Cause that's
and you
totally
got that's
Not
selfish.
take care of your
But
kids.
like,
Yeah.
and somebody on it earlier on the thread said that you have to be you can't be a selfish person to be in a polyamorous relationship, and you really can't. You have to
In any
be.
relationship.
Well, now there you go. You're absolutely correct, and that's why a lot of people's relationships fail, even the monogamous ones. I mean,
Yeah.
monogamy. A lot of people cannot get that right because it has really nothing to do with the other person. Think about how many times we see people point fingers at somebody else, and every time their relationship didn't work because of the other person. It might be you.
Well, now,
Might wanna pick
who
up a
wants
mirror.
to do some self-reflection?
See,
Nobody.
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 Self-reflection.
Okay, nobody. But you know, therapy is cheap these days, so
Is it?
everybody can get the help they
I
need.
need therapy.
Everybody- Everyone needs therapy after 2020s. This is the start of 2020s.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't have problems, you have them now.
I
No.
don't know
After
why.
2020, and they seem to be.
Everyone done lost their mind. They was locked inside with their own thoughts.
See, you locked in a room with your own thoughts. Now think about that.
Locked in the house with their husband and wives they didn't like, their kids they really didn't want. They was locked up in
We
there.
had fun 2020.
Yeah, because y'all actually like each other, but a lot of people don't. I had one coworker. She was like, "I can't go home." I'm like, "Girl, you don't want to work from home?" No, my husband. I'm like, "Does he make enough money to be causing all this commotion in your home?" And I don't think he did. I'm like, "Girl, you got him talking to you like the bald-head stepchild, and he can bear like you going 50-50 on the rent." Like, I wish I would, but that's just me.
Benita says, in poly relationships, how do you manage the jealousy?
I
You're
don't
going
know.
to love one more than the other.
I don't know, because we're
I'm
not
going
in
back
one,
to-
so I don't know.
Miss Diallo, with her dad, they had the 9.
Don't let you know what. Don't use her as no
I'm just
example.
using
She
her.
wasn't even that bright.
She,
You got-
But that don't
all of
have
them-
nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
It
all
does.
of them.
No,
all
no.
of them, and then a couple other people also the same thing. It's human. They some of the women get jealous.
I'm
There's
not
no way to
saying.
manage that many people.
I'm not saying that
He did.
jealousy
It was
is
like
not
30
an issue.
brothers and sisters.
I'm not saying that jealousy is not an issue, but people deal with jealousy in monogamous relationships. That's the killing
Yes,
part.
but now you're jealous of like 5 people instead of 1.
But at least you know this man got you. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, there's somebody else there. And hell, how could it hurt? Just like you got people out here that like women who love being in relationships with other women. And I don't mean sexual, I mean just friendships. People that they have common ground with. What will be wrong with those women being able to coexist on that level and have each other to talk to, or whatever the case may be?
I think
Do
this
they
takes
girl
like special
Yeah, do
people
girly
to-
things. Go get your manicures and pedicures and all that type of stuff.
But like That's all
men don't wanna
based
do that.
on if they get along. Like that one show. What's the show? We talked about it earlier with
Sister
the.
wives. Or,
Yeah, like some of them get along and some of them
Yeah,
don't.
they did.
Right.
Yeah, it was 5.
So
Now, I
it's-
think it was the first 3 wives, because I kind of used to watch this show. They got along, but then
Monique
got the
said,
4th and
Monique
5th
Monique
wife
Barlow
because of
said,
issues.
people out here in poly relationships knowing there's someone else. Absolutely, and that's the truth. And
That
the bottom
goes back
line
to
is,
being selfish. Just
yeah.
greed.
Well, I mean, yeah, you could say that to some degree, but then you got to also remember you can't judge why people do the things they do, because some folks have legitimate reasons for being elsewhere. I mean, I don't have a.
If the man has 3 wives, how the hell is he justifying a reason to go anywhere? He should be fine.
No,
Yeah, I don't-
she's saying that
he
there's
should be
people out here
tired.
in poly
Yeah, he
relationships,
should be tired of
but they
sitting his
just
ass down.
they just what she meant was they know that there's somebody else. They just not calling it a poly relationship. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Because
So
and
like
that's
we said about Pookie and Ray Ray.
Right.
yes, it's always Pookie. I don't know why this is the go-to name with trifles.
Alliance says, I think in a poly relationship, you have to understand your individual strength in that relationship. Some of us may not want him in our face all the time. Exactly.
Yeah,
And
I
then
agree
and on to that same point,
But that's
look at how many people are in relationships and they don't even know the strength of the relationship they in on a monogamous level. You got women out here literally, and I'm using women as this example because this tends to happen more with women than it does men. They get involved with somebody and the man tell them straight up, hey, look, I don't want a relationship. I ain't trying to do all of that. But in her mind,
she made up a whole
she married.
relationship.
right. And then when it go bad, she's, oh my God, I can't believe you did that to me. You did that to
Somebody
yourself.
Like that. You know, like, girl, are you listening to yourself?
Exactly.
Record it and rewind it back and listen.
Fix it,
Makes
Jesus.
No sense. No sense. I knew a lady that was
Tatum, you got an
fooling
adoption offer.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody wants to adopt you.
Okay.
Benita said, can I adopt your daughter?
Yes.
around. We
Yes.
knew a lady that was fooling around with a married man, and the married man was taking his wife and kids to Disney World. The lady was just had to call off from work. She was crying like 3 days straight. She couldn't believe this.
But see,
man
that's somebody
was
that-
taking his wife and kids to Disney
That's
World.
someone
Oh,
who's in
yeah, I
need
think I
of
remember
therapy. Yeah,
I'm
I hope
like,
that person isn't
girl.
gonna be watching this. But
Yeah,
also,
a lot of this, but no, but real talk, a lot of the dysfunction in any relationship, monogamous,
I don't care. She was somebody I work with. She-
polygamy, it doesn't matter. A lot of the problems are
tell you
caused
the
by
story
the
about it.
individuals doing the most complaining. They don't do no soul searching, no introspection. They have
Not
no
so
idea who
much.
they are even are.
cousin got
And they're
killed.
involved. And they think that automatically they could be involved with somebody and it's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, think about this. How many times you seen women who automatically think just by virtue of who they are that they better than the last woman the man been with, or they better
I
than
think
every
all
woman walk
women
around.
do that.
Exactly.
It's just how we are.
That's a dangerous ass
You know, we're like,
ideology in
This what
itself.
cracks me
I'm
up
better
with
than
the
that
women
hoe.
Pretend like they like things. Because when we met, oh, I like this, I don't like this, I'm not doing it. But it's amazing how some women, they be so, they pretend like they like things that they know they don't like. And then
Yeah,
it's like
just
when they
just
get
to
into
please,
the relationship
right?
a little more
When
serious,
they true
then
self
all of a
starts
sudden,
coming out.
Yeah, it
Yep.
changes. Like, girl, why would you even do
Because
that
they
anyway?
they were being a pick me. They was just trying to get picked. So
That's just
they just they was like,
wonder about a relationship.
Yeah, Cynthia Monique want to know what your cousin do. She said her cousin was tried to be in a poly relationship and got put out. She must have been cutting up. Cynthia, what she do wrong? Cynthia, did she tell you what she did?
right, we want to
You
hear
know how
how.
people tell you half
now,
the story. She
now,
probably
while
tell the
people
other
while
part.
people playing though, don't think for 1 second you could be involved in a poly relationship and you don't have to pull your weight. You don't do what you supposed to do. You will get put the hell out. You will get divorced. They will
Yeah,
cut
because
you
if they're
loose.
serious,
So
you
husband
If
know.
they serious about their relationship, you will be
What was that
going.
young guy? He was a millennial that had 3-4 wives. They all own their own businesses.
Oh, was it the Hotepi dude?
Yeah.
Polite.
He got arrested, y'all know, for
Yeah.
like child molestation.
What?
Yes.
Get the hell
No,
out
I
of
We'll
didn't
talk
know
about
that.
that off camera.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know
Oh
that.
my God.
A
All right,
mess.
all right. This ain't the gossip show. Okay, yeah, no, I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah, next.
But there's a guy on TikTok I've seen him and he's got 2 wives. They seem well. I mean,
Yes,
that's,
it
of course,
probably
it's
be like
social
this other
media.
couple that I thought was like,
Well, I mean,
polygamy thing
we
is
also
really
know
going strong.
Right.
we-
It looked good.
yeah. and
we
they
also
tell me
know
this.
another couple who tried it and they ended up actually putting out the second wife because she was cutting up sideways. So yeah, I mean, it's no different than any other relationship. If you're gonna be in a relationship, you're serious about it, you communicate, you do the things you're supposed to do as a throuple or whatever you are, quadruple. You do your thing, do what you're supposed to do, and everything is lovely. You act like you ain't got no sense, you're gonna get put out. Same thing if you in a monogamous relationship, it's no different. cut up sideways. Look, hey, look, I can't roll with you no more. I got to get down. Holler back.
I agree with Monique. Women are very emotional. I agree.
Yes, absolutely, Monique.
Are
I
we
agree
though?
100%.
More than
Women are
men.
I do, though, however, believe
Oh
that.
yeah, men are emotional. They
Yeah.
just do it a little different.
But
I'm
I-
just here to troll.
but I
That's all.
also
They do it
believe-
a little different.
No, well, I know, troll. But I also believe, though, that women's emotions are manageable to some degree by a man who, like Align mentioned earlier, a man who takes the time to understand his mate's body should also take the time to understand his mate's emotions and her mind.
Well-
and in doing so, will be capable of helping to maintain those emotions in a way that's positive and healthy. Now you go ahead and troll because I see you back there looking like you ready to start something.
No. Well, I was gonna say, I think, and I could be wrong here, and this goes back to what I see on my side of social media. The polygamy, polyamory folks, they look nasty and trifling. Like, I'm not sure that any of them have a job between all of them. Matter of fact, there is this. So these people, the type of self.
Where you be looking at this stuff at?
I don't know. It's just I see all kind of trifling stuff on my side of the internet. So I'm just telling you. But there was like this one couple, and they're in Houston. In Houston, they sharing sharing a full size mattress in like a 1-bedroom apartment, a throuple.
No, that's too
Yeah,
much.
that's-
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
too
but
much.
these are kind of people I think of when I hear polygamy. Of course
Instead of living in
like the
I said, you
Mormons
have
do
to-
it, but the Mormons have their own problems in their community. So but they are, I would see, the most visible example in our country of like the polygamy lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look, or matter of fact, I just saw this story, this trans woman that got arrested for molesting someone in the polygamous family, her daughter, because they were all in like a
That's some other stuff.
that's
I'm just,
that's a whole other
but when
level.
I see the TikTok hashtag, it's like I said, it's always greasy people. They look like they got
Greasy.
lice. They look funky. They look like they smell like Black and Miles and like 40
Hot dog
ounces.
water and helicopter
Yeah,
smoke.
like it's just, it gives funk and struggle. And so, I know these people won't even wash their behind. So I know they don't have like that introspection. Am I saying is that the
Yeah,
word?
yeah.
Like they don't have the emotional intelligence or mental capacity to truly, I feel like, manage. They're just nasty and looking to get their rocks off. Like they're sexual deviants, in my opinion. Like, and they should probably be arrested.
I don't get on TikTok. I don't see none
But
of
guess
that
what?
stuff.
Guess what? Guess what?
I
Guess
wish I
what?
didn't see it. I don't,
Guess what though? They happy.
Are
with
they
they
though?
funky ass. I don't know.
They nasty. They need to be arrested. I want someone to get arrested. They're disgusting because
It's so evil.
You know what? I'd see the Mormons don't bother me. I don't have a problem with them. Like they handle their business, they get money, they raise their kids. These nasty folks of my generation, they're running around looking funky and nasty, unwashed, unbathed.
Y'all see what I gotta deal with?
They don't have polygamy.
No, they're like, I'm pretty sure I'm not sure what goes on there. We would have to call in our house guest to find out maybe more about I don't think he knows either though. But I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it's not giving what it needs to be gave. I feel like what polygamy should look like, a whole nother level of pimping. And for some people I think it is, because I don't know. It's just usually it's some like creepy dude who's kind of like giving beta male, but he's trying to like reassert
I
his
wouldn't-
masculinity.
well, I
I'm just saying off my
I
observation
wouldn't.
of what I
mean,
see in our
well,
generation.
Now, pimping that's another level. That's what we talking about in pimping is, we talking about solicitation. We talking about, a whole nother level of indulgence.
For the sake of this, we
need to do a show.
I feel like we could call pimping just mental manipulation or.
Well, it's no different than any other man. It's people in monogamous relationships every day getting manipulated the hell out of them. They get
I agree.
their
They
ass
get
tore up.
pimped as well.
So
Pimping is, all around, all the time.
Regina Freeman said they look like they sell mixtapes.
They don't sell nothing because they look homeless, and I'm not sure how you have time to like do any. Have you have time for polyamory and polygamy when you won't even go find a soap and water
Dennis
for your
McCullum
butt?
says, "Are polygamous kids sister and brother or cousins? They would be sisters and brothers because they would be the common
Oh
father.
my God, the cousins, that'd be like some weird shit.
No, they would have to be.
There's somebody else.
I feel like a lot of people
somebody else
signing
make
up
the
for this
cousin.
is a little mentally.
Mental-
I mean, because I don't want to judge. 'Cause I would like to think there are normal couples out there that are doing everything
there are.
Dad said that they're doing, where someone is. And I know that's not what this was even about, but just from what I have
That's
seen,
what
we always go off the
couple,
rails.
It seemed like they had it going on.
it gives me funk and struggle, and it's just like, why? I'm sorry. I know it's just the fact that every time I them flashing
yes.
across my eyes,
Hot
like
mess.
of them nasty unwashed people, and I just get uncomfortable. And I think of them all like sleeping together, and it smells like Badussi.
Oh my
in the house. I'm like, I know they don't wash. They don't wash sheets up in that house. I know they don't. The sheets is probably crunchy and they up in there. Like their priorities is not. That's what I guess my point is. Like the priorities of what I feel like I see in my generation of polygamy, they priorities be off. Like they just because it could be a productive endeavor. I feel like it could be productive.
I think it could be very productive. However, we do know that there are going to be people who are going to screw that up.
Sharing a full-size mattress.
Yeah, the
in
same
Houston.
way. Yeah.
Here go Drew. He was like Brian. He said there are plenty examples of successful.
That's right.
polygamy.
That's right, Drew.
Please give us some so we could. I
Can we
would
get some
actually
names?
like to see
Can we
some
get
of these
some
people.
names?
Sheila White say Funk and Struggle, Bruno Mars next hit.
It's just,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to write, y'all, and I'm literally just talking about the millennial polygamy people I see. They just look nasty. So I'm sure it's some successful people. Yeah, they on TikTok. They just all over the internet.
They're everywhere.
They
They're
on
just on
YouTube.
TikTok.
Matter of
You
fact, I
can
watched
go-
a whole documentary on them. We should post it in the show notes. Them people look funky and mentally unwell. Somebody, I'm trying to think of who did it was like the New York Times or something. It was just, it's just terrible. When you watch it, you just feel uncomfortable. Like something is not right with the people. And I feel like the police are going to be called at any moment. I'm just like the police are going to jump out.
They're going to jump out of a van.
I'm like, these people are on house arrest. I know they have to be. Like something is
Damn,
wrong.
Taylor.
Like,
You going hard on the
I'm
people.
sorry. I'm going to show y'all the video.
Bye to your
Yeah, well, I actually took too long to cut them off. Y'all.
I'm going to be quiet.
Y'all see what I got to deal with in my house? This is so ridiculous.
She said she's never laughed.
It's
so
been like
much
this
on
for
the Black
years.
Factor. I
For
know.
years. You see how
We're being mild too.
Yeah,
we keep it in neat. We keep it in neat for y'all. Trust me.
We're keeping it cute.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're gonna cut this show off. It's time to go, y'all. We
I think
we
we've
have had a
argued our
ball. I
points.
think we have made our points, and I think that it is we've at least given food for thought and just entertained the idea that something like this is a strong possibility for the future, and it
Oh, for
probably
sure.
wouldn't hurt. I mean, it can't hurt any worse in our society than the stuff that's going on right now today. I mean, let's
True.
keep it 100.
She said she at Olive Garden.
We
cracked
got
up.
we got people all over the country whose kids are raising 9 kinds of hell, especially in Chicago. They're going around shooting up folks and killing
I'm
folks.
so tired of y'all talking about Chicago.
Hey, I'm using
Chicago's
that's where
only
I'm
in
from.
The top 10 of crime, and it's down like 9 or 10. St. Louis is
I
number
don't
one,
give a
and
damn
Memphis
where it
number
is
2.
in these United States. It's kids running around out here doing all manner of wild and
I
unusual
want you to
shit.
use another example. Of
Yes,
it.
they are.
I don't listen. I just got through watching 2 kids get shot
And I
yesterday.
just watched 3 in Memphis just get shot.
Okay, good.
And
My point
that
is,
crazy man. Wait a minute, that crazy man who was married. I don't know if y'all heard this story. Now this is definitely a good Black Factor one. Man was married in Memphis, cheating on his wife. The girlfriend had a 2-day-old baby.
See
She
how
said she was gonna
polygamy
tell
could
the
have-
wife, and he shot her and took the 2-year-old baby and threw her out in the Mississippi River.
now
Now that goes back to what y'all saying about the polygamy thing.
Now,
and
just
the
imagine
cycle
if
pookie.
he was able
He was
to
definitely
have to maintain his family, both women, his child, how that could have went if the thought processes behind all of that were just a little different.
Yeah.
2 people wouldn't be
So
dead.
there's 2 points to this story: the polygamy thing.
Of course, he was
and-
crazy as hell
and
anyway,
Memphis,
so-
Tennessee.
Yeah, because I think the thrill of
He-
cheating
number
for
2 in
some
crime
of
in
these
the country.
people.
He had some issues, needless to say.
He
But
just got out of jail.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
my point, well, that's as bad. Years ago, we owned a towing company in Memphis.
Oh, yeah, that was another
And we had another situation that was very similar to that one. There wasn't no child involved though, but we actually towed a car. We got a call to pick a car up on the side of the interstate. Sent the driver over there. He had to take the car. Well, it's a place in Memphis. They call it the Tunnel. It's a place there where the police investigate vehicles and things like that. So we picked the vehicle up and took it down to the tunnel. And my driver told me, he's, man, that car was messed up. It had blood all in the seats and bullet holes. And we didn't know what happened, but we found out later on that the guy who was driving the car, if the car belonged to his wife.
And I kept trying not to get her to go back there.
Yeah,
remember?
the car belonged to his wife, and he had been seeing this other woman for a long time, and he got married. Him and his wife recently got married, and the girlfriend was mad about it, and she said, "I'm gonna tell her,
Tennessee.
I'm gonna let her know what happened." So while they were driving down 380, what was that 385 over there, wasn't it? Off Hickory Hill. He stabbed her and then turned around and shot her 2 or 3 times in the passenger seat. So we went to go pick the car up, and when they finally got through investigating and cutting the car all up, they told us we had to bring it back to our lot. So we went back down to the tunnel and picked it up and brought it back down to our lot. And the car was butchered the hell up because the police cut it all up just to investigate with the bullet holes and all that stuff, with the bullets and everything. And the woman came down there, and the car basically was totaled. I mean, they destroyed the car with the investigation. And that lady came down there with her pastor, and she cried and boo-hooed. My wife told her, she said, you know what, man, you probably don't want to go back there. You don't want to see that car.
I damn near begged her, man, I don't think you want to see
And
that.
she went back there to see that car, and she cried and boo-hooed and cut up sideways. And then she told us, yeah, I'd like for you to take the car to my house. I was like, oh, you sure?
I was like, what?
You want this car? She was like, yeah, I want it. Okay, cool.
I'm like, damn, it doesn't
And
even
then,
have a door.
but wait, but here's the even more tripped out part. The whole time that this man had murdered his girlfriend so that she wouldn't tell his wife, and the wife was at the jail every day to visit him. She was down there making sure he had his lawyer and everything. The wife was defending him 150%.
See, she probably would have agreed to some polygamy.
And my point is, if the communication
He'd be down there, he'd call, I'd be doing this.
had been open,
You know how you can slam the phone down?
you
No,
wouldn't
back in the day.
you won't come get me back.
No.
You won't come get me.
Nope.
You don't love me that much,
back.
back.
Dig her ass up and go. She gonna pay to get your ass out of jail.
Oh,
Attorney.
Damn it, boy.
Nope.
Anyway, point is, if we had a system in place, or if there was some availability for people to get their thing together, we probably wouldn't have this stuff. And my man Quake Styles chiming in, my man say polygamy have nothing to do with pimping. That's a lifestyle. And that's my resident expert right there, y'all, so don't get it twisted. If he tell you that, you best believe it. Quake, I need you to reach out to me, sir. I've been trying to get a hold of you. We need to talk. I need to get you on Inside Stepping, my man, and so we can talk about your book and your upcoming book, so we can, chop it up, man. I need to holler at you. So, with all that said, y'all, none of us have a heaven or hell to put anybody in, and I think that we should be more mindful, lenient, and thoughtful toward people who want to live their own lifestyles. If we can allow same-sex marriage and all the other strange things that are going on in the world at this time, this one is no different. And I don't think that it's going to hurt our society any worse than the way people have gone and the rabbit holes that they've gone down with children everywhere on both sides of the fence and just doing what we do. So I personally believe it would benefit society greatly, and it would take a lot of women that are good women off the table to some of these cats that's out here playing and ain't got nothing going on. I'm talking about the benefits to society.
Most women
Don't know men. Ain't no men looking to get scooped up off the street. It ain't no men. Hold on.
We just
See, now we gotta keep this going. Hold on. No, let's back up.
I thought we was getting
Y'all
off
both
this
agreed with me.
Huh?
Okay, hold on.
I didn't say nothing.
Let's do it like this. Let's do it like this.
Here.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't say nothing at all.
Let's do it like this right here. How many men you know looking for a stable relationship with a woman? Now, I'm not saying there are not any. Hold on, because there are. Hold on.
A couple single men on there. You can ask them that
Who
question.
got more options, the men or the women?
Depends on the woman and the man. It just
I don't
depends.
know, it seem like my white girlfriends be having 2, 3, 4
but this
husbands
the
versus
black
a lot
factor.
of sisters
This the
don't
black
have-
factor.
Well, we can't bring that up in the black community
This the
because we
black
know that it's a bunch of dysfunction and chaos. So there's no point in trying to compare.
I'm going to say it again.
Because the men
How
are not
many
raised to
black
be
men
husbands.
you see running around out here that want to be married, that's looking for a good woman, that's just...
Most men want to be players. They ain't trying to...
We just got through doing the numbers. There are 95,000 more women in Atlanta than men.
Well,
But
that's just one place. No, we just did the numbers. You want to do them again?
No, we don't have to do them again. No.
Okay, exactly. My point is, there are literally tens of thousands more women in major cities than there are men. What would it hurt in the family structure for some of these single mothers that's running around out here and some of these women who want a stable, strong man in their life in a relationship? What would it hurt for them to be in agreement instead of just being a side piece to being somebody's woman is taken care of.
But again, we just can't use women. It's some women out here that
But
have some side
but
pieces.
Ma, the
There's
point
plenty of women
was-
out here with side
I
pieces.
get it,
She just
but
want to
he
argue.
just being-
That's
No, I'm
fine.
not. No, I'm
He's
not.
just speaking just of one.
You want everything to be equal. Everything
It
is
ain't
not
apples-
equal.
Is it apple and oranges?
Yes.
Regina? Is that what she's saying?
Exactly. That's exactly right, Regina. You comparing apples to oranges.
Regina just said she was.
Kathleen just told me. She just told me. I better get my stuff ready for the couch. Hey, baby, let me tell you something.
No,
Kathleen, hey, listen.
He ain't going to no
Listen,
couch.
Kathleen.
He coming right in that room.
My
with me.
couch is the devil. That joker pull you in, man. I be in it. Why I be sleeping so good on that couch? Don't play no game. But my wife, I don't care. We could be in here throwing shit at each other. She ain't letting me sleep on the couch. That's out.
I'm gonna
So.
come down there and get right on the couch.
She gonna come right down and get right on the couch.
Not you get
She's showing.
Squeeze our big asses both on the same little piece of couch. How about that?
See, that's right. All right,
It
y'all.
was fun. This was a good one. What is it? Don't have nothing against
Since,
it.
She said she's just not doing it. Somebody in my house will get hurt. Ooh, we.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
it
it's
ain't-
definitely not for. We're not saying like it should be for everybody. It's just
Hey,
for people that.
this ain't for everybody, and Lord knows,
Yeah,
you
it was
know.
a fun topic though.
Yeah, I thought it would be a
wasn't
good
gonna
one.
Join in at first.
Because I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I've been struggling with all of the what do you call it, Tatum?
Yeah, that's true too, Regina.
I'm burnt out on all of the trauma porn
Yes,
that we've been dealing with in the black community.
We're looking for entrepreneurs to talk to.
Yeah, we're gonna do some entrepreneurial stuff here in the near
any
future.
any young black men who are doing important things, not making mixtapes. If you guys have any, I don't have a problem. I don't even have a problem with the mixtapes, but it's just we've seen enough. So anyone's got some nephews, cousins doing crypto,
Yeah, crypto.
starting some businesses.
We definitely want to do the crypto some more, y'all.
drawing
'Cause
for
we
NFTs.
learning. We learning.
What you wild about, Drew?
They laughing at y'all. It's time to go.
I know
y'all.
we're gonna terrorize him
We're
off
sleeping
camera,
now.
so we're gonna
I'm
let
hungry.
everyone
You
else.
terrorize him on camera?
See,
We're gonna
the
terrorize-
Watch this, y'all. You got my plate ready?
I think your other wife down there made dinner.
Hell yeah. Damn it.
Kimberly, okay,
Damn it.
we need to get your son on.
Yes, Kimberly, we need to talk to
Yes,
your son.
DM them. So, because we want to highlight more like positivity,
And we
especially
want
like
everybody to go subscribe.
Oh, yes.
Please
Oh, and
Subscribe to the YouTube
Go-
channel, y'all.
go to
Subscribe if they
YouTube
haven't.
channel.
Hit us on the
and
YouTube
like
channel.
the
Hit that
button,
like and hit
because
that
the
subscribe
algorithm.
button.
We want the algorithm to favor us and show some love. So if you just show a little bit of love, if you enjoyed this episode, like you just click the like button, subscribe if you haven't, or just share the video to your platforms.
Yes,
And
please.
we appreciate it.
She said check out Justin.
Justin Schaefer.
Okay.
SHAIFER. We're going to check
Yes,
him
great
out.
top. Can we get some thumbs up, some hearts, some likes? Yay!
Show us some love, baby.
And then Kimberly, we need your son on.
Quake, don't forget about me, brother. I'm looking for you to holler at me, man. I need to chop it up with you. Ladies and gentlemen, I tried to get off of this show a minute ago. It didn't work out, but I'm going to this time. Thank you all so much. 3 Alphas on the Airwaves is a funny show. Yes, it is. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us and kicking it, and I appreciate you all for hanging out. I just, we want to have some fun tonight, and I think we did, and I think we, just drew a little attention to a few things you did. And I almost got jumped on back here by the troll at my troll gallery.
Troll gang.
I'm getting y'all some troll wigs.
Gang, gang.
Gang.
It's
See,
45 minutes past. Wow.
that's a hell of a thing.
It's time to go.
All right,
Good
y'all.
night, everybody.
We out of here.
Thank
Deuces.
you.
Love y'all.
Share, subscribe.
Peace out.